Fentanyl overdoses are the leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 45. It's an epidemic that's unfortunately reached our own backyard. Now, according to the Drug Enforcement Administration, in 2025, the DEA seized 4 pounds of fentanyl powder in the state of South Dakota. Now, that's equivalent to 146,000 lethal doses. In the state of Iowa, they seized 13 pounds of fentanyl powder. That's equivalent to 440,000 lethal doses. And in the state of Nebraska, 46 pounds of fentanyl powder seized. That's equivalent to 1 million lethal doses. We spoke to a DEA agent to find out what that agency is doing to keep our community safe. KTIV's Kaylee Doms breaks down the Fentanyl Free America campaign.
Fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat that our nation's ever faced.
South Dakota was one of only 2 states to see an increase in overdose deaths in 2024. Fentanyl is a man-made opioid similar to morphine, but up to 100 times more potent and is
The leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 45.
most people don't even know they're taking it, as it is often added to other drugs like heroin or cocaine because it's cheap and increases the effect, making drugs more addictive.
The cartels are always changing and evolving the way that they peddle and distribute these poisons into our communities.
In January, the Drug Enforcement Administration rolled out
Fentanyl Free America.
an initiative and public awareness campaign aimed at reducing both the supply and demand for fentanyl.
It is the focus of all of our enforcement efforts right now.
The DEA is now focusing their efforts in the classrooms just as much as in the field.
We need to get the message out, raise the level of education within the public, get out to the schools, and make sure that we're hitting this from all angles.
Last week, a South Dakota-based organization dedicated to bringing fentanyl awareness, education, and prevention received a $100,000 grant.
We welcome programs like Emily's Hope.
Angela Kennecke, CEO of Emily's Hope, has made it her life mission to bring fentanyl awareness to South Dakota.
I lost my 21-year-old daughter, Emily, to fentanyl poisoning.
Emily Goth died when the drug she was taking was laced with enough fentanyl to kill 6 people.
After that, I vowed that that should happen to no other family.
Emily's Hope has installed 24/7 Narcan access distribution boxes all throughout the state. They started post-overdose response teams in multiple counties and created PSAs and educational materials for South Dakota schools.
We want to get to the point where no one is dying from this. And so it has been our mission over the last 7 years to end this horrible epidemic in my daughter's name. I really do this work in her name.
Emily's Hope projects this money will help the charity reach 50,000 more students, parents, and educators across the state. Kaylee Doms, KTIV News 4.
And while many of us have become aware of fentanyl from its illegal uses, it does have uses in medical practice. So according to the Mayo Clinic, a fentanyl injection is actually used to relieve severe pain during and after surgery. It can also be used with other medicines just before or during an operation to help an anesthetic just actually work better. Now, the medication should only be given by or under the immediate supervision of your doctor. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, we do have a list of resources that can help. They're inside the story right now on KTIV.com.